shine for the wicked, for the letter wick, for the desire for the.
Would it matter anyway? I'm gonna let this little light shine for the wicked. Would it matter anyway? 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 I'm gonna let this little light shine for the wicked, for the letter wick, for the desire for the lonely, and illuminated for the cheers and cheers to prolong the temptation, the temporary attempts of the permanent voice, and fulfilled for the obliteration, for the holding of the truth, and not the sins of the Father, for the sake that purple love, for the purpose of the pain. The color ran into the new year like a prince, and dust into the Venus and the sun for the cloudy day, for the beginning, with the seeds of the blend, the summer for the poor, the privilege, the poor, that makes the grass greener for the other side. Your cliche for the forge and windows of opportunity, for the exposure, for the new ideas and landscapes keep blaming some devil like you and anyone or anything for the had to do, for the actions absurd enough, for the consequences, for the righteous and straight face of the win, for the long run, for the crooked, the crock, the pot, crack addict, and none of for the additional numbers of the address of the remember that play for the winning numbers and the willing to will you in there for the cut, for the numbing of the enabling, the superlative for the superstitious, the crossover, the bridges with stitches, materials and the narcissism that needed that to repair the scratches and face value for the blood point over the new wall, for the trampling over the garden, for the food for thought, for not to be in consideration, for the healthy lifestyle and way to eat before you diet. Wasting your waistline and fit that suit for the you were suited to fit in and not knowing the revenge and handling coordination for the fabrics of the life, the place to decide a magazine for the consignment for the consumers to go to co-op for scraps and patches and the walkway down, gown, dress down for the concept, tease to oppress, window shop that for the who's imaginative, reminds is justifying, justifiable for the shop for the owner, the justice for the knowing, the place in the 99-cent market for the this will be the world's truth, the justice into the heaven for the sin for the innocent for the payback, reminiscent for the paybacks and like them, a suits and having back pain for the compensating the battering and for exchange. Would it matter anyway? I'm gonna let unwanted. Feels so good to let go of something you've been holding on for too long, becoming undone for the sadness and the converted to joy when it won't feel that way again for the most amazing glory. It doesn't belong, that matter with mine. Love and the purpose. She's been telling me for the letting go, for the why, not for the needed to keep that for the trying. It wasn't actually for her. It was mine. Mine. It doesn't belong. So I know to have conviction, confidence, and need. Trust and great quality, actually good name for this grateful for the divine love and can't wait for what's in store. No love lost, love is that's so hard to be solved. You can't turn into the greatness and I can find what's in store for the honest side of it. Wake up. Closing in my eyes to go to the place deep inside, away from the world, for this is where I cherish. You hold a fine peace with the love when I'm alone. So much is going on outside this world, but I'm looking for the love deep inside myself, with the closed books and shelf, and why would I look for the love needed anywhere else, and I hope my heart release the pain. Nothing to lose but a love again, for the although life is broken into this securities for the sugar. What you mean by being this will be the enemy, for the enemy, for the enemy, for this will be the real me, for the discipline and I have to I see, for the pain, for the relate to my neglect, and the love and I innate, or destiny when I'm closing down. In that situation in life can't see, you will understand where there's life that shines deep inside that circle, illuminates for the darkness and try to take control, which is the place to embrace that life that makes us complete. It's the universe in the whole, and I'm in the version that I know where I'm going to go for this. It's a good work to come back to you. You left off in the sun, it's the beginning to the end, and the stars and your guys and you can disagree for the far out to the strange response. Complete the strange as you respond to the intentionally contemplating for the confidence that's been contorted from the disability easily ignored, the truth lies in the atmosphere for the generous and the marriage and the turning cheeks of reality. for the past, maintaining for something that just keep having the bargain with the chance. Asking to dance again. Move ever so gently with pride and pocket of your soul from the heart and to your button up sleep for the next weekend for the couple of years from the experience of the sun. This is dance all along together for the coming of the weather, for the weather, but not the bumps of the day for the time. It's always been there from the beginning, but she is all my shadow with the reason why oxygen to me I can find that. Dreams, joy, even when yourself couldn't take it away, the light, lightning, to be enlightenment, excitement for the love, can really do it.
Feels so good to let go of something. Feels so good to let go of something. They come in and no goodbyes. Perfectly to every time. Ride me at the fetch. 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 There's somebody for this sweet of me. I applied for the apology. You would consider anything. Releasing of the unwanted. Feels so good to let go of something you've been holding on for too long, becoming undone for the sadness and the converted to joy, but it won't feel that way again for the most amazing part. It doesn't belong, that battle wasn't mine. The love and the purpose, and she's been telling me for the letting go for the while, not for the needed to keep that for the trying, but the it wasn't actually for her. It was mine. For me, and mine, but it doesn't belong. You don't have an open have the conviction, the confidence, and the need to move. Continue with amazingness and the trust and the greater calling for the note of love, lost action for a game for this grateful for the divine love. You can't wait for what's in store. Shall be reserved for what you can accept for the embracing of my true love and see the truth in you. I want to have that release party soon. Feels so good to release, and I was never losing. I was finding no love lost, but love has been found. I find it so hard to be soft when we can strengthen me. We can turn into the greatness, and I can find what's in store for the honest side and for the current call of the release and break up before letting go. The releasing of the unwanted. The closing of my eyes to go to the place deep inside, away from the world, for this is where I cherish. Behold, to find peace in the love when I'm alone. So much is going on outside this world, but I'm looking for the love deep inside myself, for the closed books and shelf, and why would I look for the love and need it anywhere else? And I hope my heart release the pain. Nothing to lose but a love to gain, for the although life is broken into this circuitous for the sure, but what you mean by being this to be the enemy, for the inner you, for the enemy, for this to be the real me, for the discipline to not have the eyes to see, for the pain, for the relate to my neglect and the love and I innate to our destiny, and I'm closing eyes. In that situation in life can't see or understand where you go, there's a light for the shines deep inside that soul that illuminates for the darkness you try to take control, which is the place to embrace that matter for that makes us complete. It's the universe in a whole, and I'm rhyming on a version that I know where I'm going to go for this. It's a good word for the come back to, for the, where you left off from the sun. It's the beginning for the ending of the week starts, and your guides and meek, and this a week for the far out can be strange as a response. Complete the strangers responding for the contention you're contemplating, for the confidence has been contorted, for the disability easily ignored, for the truth lies in the amnesty, for the generous and the marriage, the turning cheats to the reality check, for the cash maintaining for the something adjacent, but you can have that for the bargaining for chance. Asking to dance again. You move ever so gently with pride and pocket of your soul, for the heart pinned to your button up sleeve, for the next weekend, for the couple of years, for the experience of the sun, for this we dance all together, for the coming of the weather, but not the bumps of good today for the time. It's always been that for the beginning, for she is all my shadow, for the breeze and my oxygen to breathe. I can find that. Dreams, joy, even when yourself you couldn't take it away. The life, the enlightenment meant to be for the enlightenment, for the excitement, for the love can heal you, for the touching of spines and ups and send you, for the tongue tied up watching up and make you find a vast air for the water for toes. Nature's ways and no goodbyes and good stays, for the good times and the good days, and the wine for the good burn, for the lifted, for the fade away into the darkness of the metal. But you can exist that all for the matters to me. I can find to make a part for you, love shine. Even the blind sees to open the blinds and allow this light in. When I am in, it's always being pursued. The way you are, son, you are all my love, the heart for the listening, the rising into the center of attraction, to the unexpected, for the charging of the crystals, to the distance, for the illuminating moon rocks, and you're completing the harmony of the elements. Fell in love. The feeling of the falling, and you can have that for the feels and better that for the feeling of the sleep, the gift of the dream, for the brand new flower, for you can make a brand new partner, for the partner blue eyes, for the parting of the strange land, for the discovery, for the has no ownership, there will be lost in like the light. How spring show without the nature's land. Cycle for the man's dependency. The glad for the knowledge and the relationship with the stars of the shaping the relations with the light, divine, define the divine eyes, the glad to see for the seed and the black obsidian for the balance and the primal reading for the moon, this is for the sun, but an equation and compromising the equators and dividing that list to find it all over again. Remembering that connection and reflections of the members in the sunset provides that for the ignorant to the left, just be another expression of the question and the need for the image of the projector for the unfortunately outside the changing of how proud I was of overcoming the clouds. Spring break, mistaking and failure life for the awareness of the reality for
light shine for the wicked, for the let it wait for the desire for the lonely. Would it matter anyway? Would it matter anyway? Would it matter anyway? Would it matter anyway? I'm gonna let this little light shine for the wicked meet, for the let it wake, for the desire for the lonely, and illuminate it for the cheers and cheers to prolong the temptation, the temporary, the attempts to the permanent voice, and fulfill it for the obliteration, for the holding of the truth, and not the sense of the father, for the shake that purple love of the purpose of the pain. The color I ran into the new year like a prince and destined to the be phoenix in the sun for the cloudy day, for the beginning, with the seeds of the blend, the summer for the poor, the privilege, the poor that makes the grass greener for the other side. Cliche for the forging windows, an opportunity for the exposure for the new ideas and landscapes. Keep blaming some devil like you and anyone or anything for the had to do for the actions absurd enough for the consequences for the righteous and straight face of the win for the long run for the crooked the crock of the pot crack addict and none for the over the additional numbers that they address it and remember that play for the winning numbers and the willing to will you in there for the cut for the numbing of the enabling the super louder for the superstitious to cross over the bridges with stitches materials and the narcissism for the needed that to repair the scratches and face value for the rub point over the new wall for the trampling over the garden for the food for thought for not to be in consideration or the healthy lifestyle and way to eat before you diet. Wasting your waistline to fit that suit for the you pursuit to fit in and not knowing the revenge and handling coordination for the fabrics of their life to place it inside a magazine for the consignment for the consumers to go to co-op for scraps and patches of the walkway down, gown, dress down for the concept, tease to oppress, bueno shop that for the who's imaginative minds is justifying justifiable for the shop for the owner, the justice for the known and place it in 99-cent market for the this would be the Wall Street for just into the heaven for the sin for the innocent for the payback, reminiscent for the paybacks and like them, suits and having back pain for the compensating the battering and for exchange. Would it matter anyway? I'm gonna let this little light shine for the wicked meet, for the let it wake, for the desire for the lonely, and illuminate it for the cheers and cheers to prolong the temptation, the temporary, the attempts to the permanent voice, and fulfill it for the obliteration, for the holding of the truth, and not the sense of the father, for the shake that purple love of the purpose of the pain. The color I ran into the new year like a prince and destined to the be phoenix in the sun for the cloudy day, for the beginning, with the seeds of the blend, the summer for the poor, the privilege, the poor that makes the grass greener for the other side. Your cliche for the forging windows, an opportunity for the exposure for the new ideas and landscapes. Keep blaming some devil like you and anyone or anything for the had to do for the actions absurd enough for the consequences for the righteous and straight face of the win for the long run for the crooked the crock of the pot crack addict and none for the over the additional numbers that they address it and remember that play for the winning numbers and the willing to will you in there for the cut for the numbing of the enabling the super louder for the superstitious to cross over the bridges with stitches materials and the narcissism for the needed that to repair the scratches and face value for the rub point over the new wall for the trampling over the garden for the food for thought for not to be in consideration or the healthy lifestyle and way to eat before you diet. Wasting your waistline to fit that suit for the you pursuit to fit in and not knowing the revenge and handling coordination for the fabrics of their life to place it inside a magazine for the consignment for the consumers to go to co-op for scraps and patches of the walkway down, gown, dress down for the concept, tease to oppress, bueno shop that for the who's imaginative minds is justifying justifiable for the shop.
Would it matter anyway? I'm gonna let this little light shine for the wicked meet, for the let it wake, for the desire for the lonely, and illuminate it for the cheers and cheers to prolong the temptation, the temporary, the attempts to the permanent voice, and fulfill it for the obliteration, for the holding of the truth, and not the sense of the father, for the shake that purple love of the purpose of the pain. The color I ran into the new year like a prince and destined to the be phoenix in the sun for the cloudy day, for the beginning, with the seeds of the blend, the summer for the poor, the privilege, the poor that makes the grass greener for the other side. Your cliche for the forging windows, an opportunity for the exposure for the new ideas and landscapes. Keep blaming some devil like you and anyone or anything for the had to do for the actions absurd enough for the consequences for the righteous and straight face of the win for the long run for the crooked the crock of the pot crack addict and none for the over the additional numbers that they address it and remember that play for the winning numbers and the willing to will you in there for the cut for the numbing of the enabling the super louder for the superstitious to cross over the bridges with stitches materials and the narcissism for the needed that to repair the scratches and face value for the rub one over the new wall for the trampling over the garden for the food for thought for not to be in consideration or the healthy lifestyle and way to eat before you diet. Wasting your waistline to fit that suit for the you pursuit to fit in and not knowing the revenge and handling coordination for the fabrics of their life to place it inside a magazine for the consignment for the consumers to go to co-op for scraps and patches of the walkway down, gown, dress down for the concept, tease to oppress, bueno shop that for the who's imaginative minds is justifying justifiable for the shop for the owner, the justice for the known and place it in 99-cent market for the this would be the Wall Street for just into the heaven for the sin for the innocent for the payback, reminiscent for the paybacks and like them, suits and having back pain for the compensating the battering and for exchange. Would it matter anyway? I'm gonna let this little light shine for the wicked meet, for the let it wake, for the desire for the lonely, and illuminate it for the cheers and cheers to prolong the temptation, the temporary, the attempts to the permanent voice, and fulfill it for the obliteration, for the holding of the truth, and not the sense of the father, for the shake that purple love of the purpose of the pain. The color rain into the new year like a prince and destined to the phoenix in the sun for the cloudy day, for the beginning with the seeds of the blend, the summer for the poor, the privilege, the poor that makes the grass greener for the other side. Your cliche for the forging windows of opportunity for the exposure for the new ideas and landscapes. Keep blaming some devil like you and anyone or anything for the had to do with the actions absurd enough for the consequences for the righteous and straight face of the win for the long run for the crooked, the crock, the pot, crack addict and the none for the